Hey, looks like I'm finally back again, and this time it's the Hunt for Harmony Summon Showcase, which is running from the 31st of March till the 12th of April. First things first, it's the new 5-star Waterbow Laranoa, who is the featured unit of this showcase. She's been given the support designation and has 2 skills, as most adventurers do. Vivid Volley, water damage to enemies in a line, and it consists of 14 small hits totaling up to about 800% potency at max level. Her second skill is Hunter's Intuition, a 10-second buff which buffs the user and nearby allies with 10% strength and 20% skill haste. Her abilities: she gets a 20-second buff of 10% crit damage up for every 20 hit combo, which I'd say actually works very well with her first skill. She gets stun resist and 30% skill damage. So with a water bow, stun resist is only really going to come into use in Fire Imperial Onslaught. I don't believe there are any fire-styled void battles that inflict stun, but you can probably use her for... Actually, I'm not entirely sure if there's a dull resist bow, but if there is, then you can use her for the steel golem as well. The 4-star Light Dagger, Fleur, has the attack designation. Her first skill, Captivating Canvas, has skill shift. It starts with 2 hits of up to 333% and scales up to 599, so 600% against paralyzed enemies. It also inflicts paralysis. Phase 2 increases the success rate of inflicting paralysis, and Phase 3 restores HP to all your allies, with a 30% healing potency. Fleur's second skill, Pallet Punch, is a 5-second buff, gives you up to 25% strength, and it also instantly readies skill 1. With the roughed out skill point costs of skill 1 and skill 2, you can expect to use skill 2 will be ready before skill 1 is ready a second time, but you may as well let skill 1 come up first and fire that off before using skill 2, because otherwise you're wasting the effective skill point gain that skill 2 would have given you. Fleur's abilities: she gains 8% skill haste when her hit points are 70% or above, she has Curse Resist, and Paralyzed Punisher. The other units that also inflict paralysis, and are also light element, are Liger. Actually, he's not a unit, he's a dragon, but there's also Luca, who I don't think anyone's really going to use, and there's also Albert. Whether or not the resistances of those adventurers actually line up with Fleur's, and whether or not you'd see them sort of... whatever. You'd probably see them against the Raging Manticore or something, but for High Zodiac, I'm not entirely sure. The 5-star Water Dragon of this banner, Simurgh? I'm not entirely sure if that's correctly pronounced, but Simurgh gives you a 40% hit point buff at maximum unbind, and 60% Overdrive Punisher. Simurgh's skill is 12 hits of up to 54% damage, so it's a breath style attack but doesn't really sweep. It's more like a cone AoE, possibly. It also heals allies for 30% potency, which is the same potency as Cupid. But coming from a HP bonus dragon, it's basically almost a full heal for your team. Simurgh also has the highest hit point bonus of all dragons we've seen so far for water, but the Overdrive Punisher is a bit of a weird choice, considering you'd probably use a hit point bonus dragon on a healer, and as such, well, you're probably not going to see much damage coming out of a healer anyway, so yeah, strange. The event Wyrmprint that we see coming with this banner is, well, it's not really with the banner, it's just the same patch. But yeah, A Mother's Love gives you Gauge Accelerator, which is a bit but seeing as you can earn the print for free, and it gives extra paper mache and exploration points, yep. For the event, then sure, use it during the event, maybe sell it for Eldwater afterwards, or if you're like me and a bit of a collector, then, you know, get the refined vestige and just stick it in a box somewhere, never to be used again. So, for the actual 5-star print added in this banner that's not leaving the, how do you call it, summon pool? Yeah. 5-star Wyrmprint Forest Bonds. So this is a conditional skill damage up by up to 35% for bow units, and striking haste of up to 10%. So this isn't skill haste, but rather striking haste, which fills your skill bars and basically gives you 10% of the skill point required for a skill to be available by 10%. This is another one that you see on, I think it's Lunar Festivities, and that one was pretty fun to use with Kuhai. But this one, since it's for bows, then yeah, well, I guess it's pretty good for bows considering how many bows sort of inflict a, how do you call it? Well, an affliction, really, like stun, paralysis, poison, blindness, that kind of thing, and then capitalize on that as well. So if you're a fan of bow units, then this print will serve you quite well. It also gives you extra exploration points, but obviously that goes away after the event ends. The 4-star print added in this showcase is Egg-Shaped Dreams. It gives you defense up by up to 8% when your hit points are 70% or above, and stun res of up to 20%. And also I can't even say it anymore. Extra exploration points. So used for the event. The stun resist is a bit funky because, you know, 20% isn't quite enough for you to push any, well, 3-star units up to 100%, and, well, nobody else really has 80% stun res anyway. So, yeah, use it for the event. Do whatever you want with it afterwards. 3-star print Tiny Dragoñatas. So this is a conditional water, skill haste up to 5%, and it also gives you up to 75% bonus paper mache. It's a mediocre print, being a 3-star print, but you can use it during the event. In terms of the old content that's now received a rate up on this banner, you've got Xander, the 5-star water sword unit, Vodyanoi, the 4-star water strength bonus dragon, and Sisters of the Anvil, which gives you a strength double buff and a bit of stun resist. Xander's going to be pretty good if there's a wave challenge battle in this event, because, hell, even when he's not the right element for the battle, then you always see someone soloing the goddamn waves with him anyway. I don't know how it happens. Well, I know exactly how it happens. Goddamn striker strength. But yeah. If you've looked at the appearance rates for this summon showcase, you'll notice it's a bit different. It's 1% for the featured adventurer, well, featured adventurers, plural, because 0.5% of that summon rate is Xander. So if you look at the total rates, you'll have 1.5% chance of getting an adventurer, 1% chance of getting a dragon, and 1.5% of getting a Wyrmprint. Well, 5-star, that is, as opposed to the 1-1-2 ratio we've typically seen before. In combination with the fact that we have double Wyrmprints now, it's a bit of a funky choice, considering, well, we used to get a lot more Wyrmprints than we really needed, and now they've decreased the rate as well as increased the number of Wyrmprints that people typically want to use. So yeah, funky times. As always, I don't believe this is a limited banner, so if you really want some 5-star water units for this event and you need to beef yourself up, then sure, go ahead. Xander, you can't really go wrong with Xander. But otherwise, I'm not pulling. I already have Xander. I don't really want another 5-star water unit. Well, don't really need it. I wouldn't complain if I pulled her, but sure. Either way, I'm not your boss. Do what you want with your Wyrmite or Diamantium if you really want to spend money. But yeah, I'm not your boss. Do what you want. Good luck in your upcoming pulls.